Very, very, very interesting article. And by the way, I want to thank Bob. I want to thank Bob for this subscription that he sent me. I don't know, what, Bob? A couple of years now? Tomorrow's World, Today? Maybe. Okay, got to give me a heads up so I can record. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, if you're good to go, let me know. If you ain't, I'll wait. Okay, she's okay now. Sorry about that. I just got in the house myself. But very, very interesting stuff that these guys are putting out, okay? And if you wish to go and get it, I make nothing off of it, but, you know, and I don't really, yeah, it's been about 2 years that Bob made a subscription for me for the things that come from them, and you know, what we do is we take the fruit or eat the fish and spit the bones out from everybody. So, but this this newsletter or this printing came July and August 2012 edition. I've been reading on it, and one of the articles in it is, well, you know, I looked over the news today. I found nothing that was worth even presenting to you. I mean, other than Romney and Obama and you know, Supreme Court may have a decision, whatever. I mean, honestly, people, it's simply a seduction. A clever seduction to keep us looking at them. You know, I had to go to town this morning and pick some stuff up for a little bitty job I did this morning, and when I went into a place that had a big screen TV, and there was Fox News and whatever. Gosh dang it, what was the gal's name? Megyn Kelly, yeah. And she had two guys on there, their hair all spiked up, and you know, had the mousse in it, and they was all fixed as if they were some kind of analytical geniuses. And I thought, God, I'm gonna puke. I've been off this stuff a year now, off TV, period. Other than old, you know, John Wayne Webster and Andy Griffith every now and then from the library, and I'm like, I'm gonna puke because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt the guy's nothing but a propaganda artist. The guy's nothing but trying to seduce people into thinking that he has the truth because, you know, he's got makeup on and got his hair spiked up and looks good, you know, and Megyn Kelly sitting there in the middle between two guys, you know, like, okay, so this must be the gospel, this must be the truth. But anyway, I'm not. Cindy says in the chat room, the Barber dolls make me puke. Yeah, they me as well, Cindy, me as well. But I want to get to this article today, and I gotta get y'all to pray for my throat. It was killing me last night when I preached the word, but probably I'm gonna hold off when I get through this show today. I'm gonna hold off and wait till the Sabbath and do a 3-hour on Saturday. I'm probably gonna let this throat rest tonight. But I want to do this today, and I want to tell all the new people that come by here and listen to what we have going on, don't trust what I'm saying, okay? Verify it through your convictions, okay, based on truth, okay? But what I'm going to read to you today is really what is staggering in terms of the depth and the truth of the understanding about exactly what's going on, okay? You know? Record a 10-minute segment so there is something posted. Now, see, if I do that, Cindy, if I do that as far as, before I get started here, and you people that are here listening, Cindy and I are still trying to work out the details of this TV show that we're doing. If I do that, it's going to make me stop, type in, and do this, that, and other, okay? So anyway, what I may do is let it go like it is, and if we get the ability to pay for this, then, you know, $25 a month, then it'll record it for us. We can grab what we want to, put here, put there, put everywhere. As of right now, I don't want to use up my bandwidth, so therefore I'm not going to hit the record button because that takes more bandwidth, more computer usage. So let's see let's just see what happens and how it grows. Okay? And I should have already called her today, but I've been busy. All right, the title of this is, and listen, it says, How Satan Seduces You. Now, that don't necessarily mean anybody listening today, but it does mean the broader audience. They are being seduced because they look at the mainstream media, they look at the mainstream preachers, they look at all these things as being, thus saith thus saith, this is right. Okay? Now, the most analytical thinkers, all they're after is truth. They're not looking to be high-minded or heady or arrogant or anything else, but they're so starving for the truth that they want to know what is truth and what is fiction. Well, let me get into the article. And the question I have for you today, have you been deceived by whoever it may be? Mainstream media, mainstream church, alternative media, whatever it may be, have you been deceived? Well, let's take a look at the article and see. Far more than most people. I got to cut this light on. Hold on. I'm gonna. As a matter of fact, there's no need in me being in it while I'm reading. Hold on just a minute. Let me get out of the way. I'll just let y'all look at a blank screen for a minute, and when I stop to contribute to it, then I'll come back into the scene. Okay. All right. Now, and the reason I'm doing that is for light purpose. Okay. Okay, far more than most people even begin to realize, the entire society around us is being turned upside down and deceived. Although the media try to make us, what? Make us think that everything is good on the surface. But the end result is everything is not so good, correct? All right. Now, that being said, they would never have envisioned that they could have so much authority and power and seduction over mainstream or sheeple or people. Okay? Now I'm adding to the article myself as I'm talking here. And listen, it would have been unimaginable to realize that they could take homosexuality and half-naked women and half-naked men or makeup-wearing men and women. And there's nothing wrong with makeup on a woman, okay? I've already said that before and I'll say it again. But, I mean, my gosh, I mean, when you got men wearing it to look good, there's something wrong. I mean, you can be who you are, and you are who you are, or you ain't, as far as a man goes, in my opinion. Yet today, these practices and others like them are commonly being accepted by countless of millions of people around us, even many that call themselves awake in terms of a patriot movement, a Christian movement, or whatever it may be. You know, I got to tell you, the so-called thing about the heritage and who is and who ain't is ridiculous. Absolutely. Well, let me see if I can get in here. I don't want to be too bright, well, maybe I'll see. I hate that light. All right, let me see if I can read it without that, okay? Let me see if I can see it, okay? I don't want to act like I'm hiding from anything I'm saying, but I'm going to have to look down to read it, so you just have to see what you see. But anyway, today, millions upon millions of people, they're being seduced by Western media that lets them in on what they want them to know, okay? And that being said, it doesn't make it be the truth, ladies and gentlemen, but what it makes it be is a seductive seed that's planted, and then it's able, listen to me for a minute, it is able to grow and flourish. And then what happens when it flourishes is it begins to produce fruit. And the reason I know that is because the garden we've planted and the things we've done, remember I showed you the seeds and everything? Well, they're coming up and doing good. But what I planted, listen to me, what I planted is absolutely going to come up. The squash will be a squash. The cucumber will be a cucumber, okay? You hear me? The corn will be corn. It will not be something other than what I know I planted. And the same thing is taking place today in the mainstream, the alternative, and the patriot movement and the Christian movement is they're planting their seeds that they want to come up and flourish and grow. You see what I'm saying? Okay? But let's move on with the article. But think about it. It used to be, and my sister called me today, my oldest sister, and Cindy knows her. She's a banker in Georgia. But she stoved up and her legs messed up and everything, so she's sitting at home and she called, and actually I never hardly answered the phone to anybody. But, you know, I just happened to hit the button because I had a minute, and boom, and she was talking about this, that, and another, and I was trying to explain to her that the fact of the business is this. The fact of the business is that most folks have no clue what it means to be able to think clearly, to be able to understand and comprehend that most of this stuff that's going on in the churches, in the media, and around the globe is a bunch of lies and seduction. You know, and she was talking about this, that, and I don't want to get into details, but she was talking about some certain things in her life and everything, and I told her, I said, well, you know what? I said, you know, and her husband's name's Mike, and I ain't gonna call her last name for safety reasons, and she's making big money, good money. I mean, you know, they're making big money. And I simply told her, I said, you know, Sandy, what you ought to do is this, and I'll explain what I mean in a minute. He's got ringing in the ears and all this, that, and other, and equilibrium's off and everything else, and she's got leg problems. As a banker, she can't get to work, and and they got money. I said, why don't you try something? I said, why don't you try cutting the TV off? Why don't you try taking a vacation because you can afford it, and go somewhere out in the woods where there is no electricity, where there is no television, where there is no computer, where there is no telephone, where there is no cell phone, and just sit there for a week. You can afford it. Find you somewhere to go, and I'll guarantee you that things will begin to heal in your life. And she absolutely went silent on the telephone, because that I told her is so far out and so far out of the reach of most people that it is unbelievably unreachable. But the business is, the contrast of what I gave her compared to her life and his life would be a healing for them. I'm not trying to be religious here at all, period. But it would be a healing for them, because listen to me, listen to me. They have the Federal Reserve notes to be able to do it. But yet they choose, listen to me, they choose to live in a lifestyle that is not reality. They choose to live in a lifestyle that is fast-paced, that is everything they say and do must be related to a cell phone, an iTouch, an iPad, or it must be related to banking issues or whatever. There is no back to the roots and homestead. And the very seduction of what is taking place, but now, she did admit this. Now listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. She did admit this. As I told her, and I'm telling you, I do not believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I do not believe the Creator wanted it to be this way. He knew it was going to be this way, but just as his desire was that Adam and Eve never screw it up in the garden, so it is that he does not desire the screw-ups that take place today in terms of us being pressured down and squeezed to pieces and destroyed by the so-called fast lifestyle, by the so-called fast media. You know, you got, I mean, for instance, take this for example. And I can prove it to you. And some of you, I hope and pray, will make it up here one of these days pretty soon, you know. Cindy's been planning it for a while. Bob's been planning it, wants to come. You know, Wake Up said this and that and other, and so has Wires. Well, you know, it would be a joy, privilege, honor, and pleasure for you to come here to this house. But at the same time, what would be more ecstatic to you than that would be that when we go up to the places we'll go to, you won't hear anything but the birds and the elk and the deer and the wind and the bears. And it is not detrimental to your body, soul, and spirit. Am I trying to be some kind of earth worshiper? No. But what I'm getting at is this. The seduction of technology and mainstream media, it pours it into your brain cells. Your eyes, listen, the lamp of the body is the eye. If the eye is clean, the whole body's clean. And all these things that we're forced to, in a certain extent, we're forced to look at because of our modern day technology and our paradigm. We're forced to over and over and over and over ascertain and break down millions of pixels and pictures and everything all the time, and there never is just going and looking up a tree and watching a hummingbird get its food. Whatever happened to that day? Whatever happened to watching a squirrel while it's doing what it's doing, and in sitting there with kids or even holding hands with a friend and watching that squirrel do what it's got to do to survive, which is so simplistic on the one hand, but it's so perplexing on the other hand that they can do it, but yet we cannot without Fox News.